Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Conversation series. I'm Sam, and I'm not alone. Today I've got some lovely guests with me, but...
Were you alone in previous conversations, Sam?
Huh?
Were you alone in previous conversations?
I just want to, because obviously it's just me on the screen just now. I don't want people to think I'm alone.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm having a chat with myself, so
Spoilers.
you guys have spoiled it already. I was going to do a big reveal, but
Yeah, sorry.
well, without further ado, let's find out who we're with today. Dun, dun, dun. Great, thank you guys for coming on the call today. We're going to talk about lots of things from the invest year you're doing, like an internship thing that you're doing your year out. Obviously, get to know you guys a bit more, and we'll just see where this goes. Have a bit of fun, hopefully. But I've loved over this last kind of 10 months, has it been? 8 months, 8 to 10 months. I've loved just getting to know you guys better over this last 8 to 10 months. You guys are friends, you know. So
Means a lot. Yeah.
Heartwarming.
You're getting there. Yeah.
Deep. So let's find out who's here. Who we got here? Let's start with Dan, shall we? Dan, tell us yourself, your church you're part of, and sum yourself up in a few words.
Yes, I'm Dan. I am an intern at Hillview Community Church and Kintor Community Church in Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire. 23, was a student until I did this. And to sum myself up in 3 words, I've only thought of one so far, but the rest will come. So, chill, 40, and is Christian just like a given, or should I say Christian? I don't want to sound like really lame.
You're Jewish, like it's...
Good answer, bro.
Thank you very much. I tried my best.
Wow.
Nice one.
Thanks, Dan.
Neil, you want to go next? Who are you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Neil. I'm interning at Adelaide Place in Glasgow with a focus on student work and students there. I hate these kind of questions. Like, I'm so bad at doing this. I'm going to go for listener. I'm a good listener, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm observant and I'm caring. Let's go with that.
Nice. I agree with all those things.
Oh, thanks. Good.
Pat, you want to go next? You're the last person.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, sure, I'll go next. My name's Pat, obviously, and I'm placed at Kirkintilloch Baptist Church this year. And previously I was an architecture student at Strathclyde Uni. And to sum myself up in 3 words. Oh, okay. Vibrant, maybe, yeah. I think I stick out like a sore thumb in most places, you know. Hungry all the time. That's another one. And this is really hard. I do hate these type of questions. It's like self-proclaiming who I am. And I guess just chill. Like I just quite like being, quite chill.
We're all chilled on this call, aren't we? Yeah. Pat, you've got the best hair, I have to say.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
And Dan, your beard games.
You inspired me, Sam. You know.
And Neil is currently trying to grow a top knot. So
can you show us it on?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
This is what lockdown's doing to us. Growing our hair out.
Disastrous. Yeah.
Like genuinely, I've thought about dyeing my hair like a really bright colour.
I was thinking of going electric blue. What do you want to do?
Oh right, electric blue.
Oh yeah.
I thought like Pat's colour. Pat, yours is like a...
So if you want a suggestion, I'm going even lighter. Blonde, high, yeah.
Full white. You got it as well.
Yeah.
So you're going blue, Neil, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Dan, what are you going to go for?
Maybe like a dark brown. Try it,
Get rid
see
of
what happens.
Hair, yeah. So lockdown is going interestingly enough. What have you guys learned about yourselves during lockdown so far, if anything?
I've learned that the blonde hairs that I thought I had, when they grow out, are actually grey. So there's that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh no.
Neil is actually like Benjamin Button, you know. You've learned that you've got some.
Very sad. Yeah, I've actually got grey hairs.
What about you, Pat? What have you learned about yourself in lockdown?
Uh, I don't know. I thought I was an extrovert at first, but because I'm also like quite a, a nerdy gamer, that I'm actually used to being indoors for a prolonged amount of time. So I've actually not been struggling as much as other people, but it's been an interesting ride so far.
What kind of games do you play?
Truth be told, like if I showed you the hours I put into some of these games, you would
I'm okay with it.
So I got a game 4 days ago and I have 42 hours on it, so it's
wow, that's impressive.
I know.
Wow.
Sorry, 5 days ago, because this counts to the day.
Sure.
And I'm not, I have been still doing like church work and stuff, so it's all
Just a
all
disclaimer.
chill.
Yeah.
It is.
Wow. Do you play FIFA? Because that's really all that matters to me.
Yeah, I do actually. I saw your PS4 post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I do have like I've given my PS4 to my brother. So honestly, I could still clap you at FIFA if you wanted at any point.
No, I'll leave it. I'll save the humiliation for another time. Dan, what have you learned about yourself in lockdown? You've got a long beard.
Probably kind of similar to Pat. Like, I'm great at lockdown.
Right.
Like, I love excuses to not have to leave the house. I play a lot of video games. I moved home, so I get fed. So I'm having a really nice time.
You're such a mood, Dan. I love it. Like, this is
like it's honestly, it's real nice. Occasionally I go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't stretch myself too much. But listening to 3 songs one way, walk back. That's the walk done for 3 or 4 days. Having a nice time.
Oh man, that's great.
That's so good.
Are you guys seeing it? Are you guys actually like crushing lockdown?
Yes.
Yeah,
I miss the general things. Like, I miss like being able to just like go to McDonald's or the cinema or see friends for a coffee.
mm-hmm.
But it's like I'm not too fussed. Like it's okay. Like it's like everyone's on a holiday right now, and I can still see them face to face, on Zoom. So it's chill.
Like I acknowledge the fact there's a lot of like terrible stuff going on in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
People are losing a lot of stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
finances to their loved ones. It's pretty serious, but
Yeah.
it does feel, those that are maybe not hugely affected, it does feel like that in between phase between Christmas and New Year. I don't know if you guys have feel like that. It's like that 1 week in between New Year where you just like don't know what to do yourself, but the whole world's on halt.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't know what day it is. Interesting. Okay.
But like the initial shock of it was like
mm-hmm.
pretty like because I think I was just taking like a year out, and I guess other people as well who have like big things for the year, like everything's just kind of like stopped almost, like everything. Like so initially I was like, what's gonna happen now? Am I just gonna like the things that people have planned for the year have kind of disappeared, and which is like the tiny tip on like a huge iceberg of like people losing lives and people like so
mm-hmm. You're kind of launched into this place of total uncertainty, aren't you?
Yeah.
The kind of future is completely unknown for everyone now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
way like sorry.
I was just going to say,
the intro. Go for it.
Neil, have we come to you? What have you learned about yourself in lockdown?
I've realised I'm quite lazy.
Nice.
Like, well, I don't think it is that good. I think I don't necessarily need like the same routine every day, but I have to set like deadlines for things if I actually want them to get done. Otherwise, days pass. And I've watched like close to 42 hours of Netflix in
high five.
4 days, but like I haven't done any of the stuff that I actually need to do. So like I've realized that I guess when I'm busier, because I'm doing stuff, like stuff happens naturally anyway, so I don't have to think about how it gets done. But when I actually have all the time in the world to do stuff, I don't really tend to do it. So I guess like having to lean in and like prioritize doing stuff over and other like rather than just assuming it'll get done. yeah, that's probably.
It's a good discipline to have, though, is to like set yourself kind of deadlines in a way.
Mm.
Do you find you're beating yourself up a little bit if, just now, Neil, with kind of you say you're not getting the things you want to get done?
Yeah, I probably was at the beginning. I think I fluctuated. Like at the start, I was like, oh, I have to be super productive. I think maybe we all felt a little bit like that. Like we all have to do exactly the same amount of work in exactly the same amount of time as if we were under the same circumstances, and we're not. And then I swung the other way, and I was like, okay, actually, I need to acknowledge that this is different. It's going to look different.
Yeah.
But I probably like pushed that a little bit too far. And then now I think I'm coming back into like a good medium of being like, okay, this is different. It's going to look different. I'll achieve a different level of things, but there's still stuff that I can achieve, and I need to work at like actually making sure that I achieve those things and prioritizing them, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys responded like initially. At the start of kind of lockdown, my response was to take a step back, like completely from like activity, and I did feel a bit weird doing that. But I kind of took a step back and watching this surge of online like activity just like explode. But to me, it does feel like we shouldn't be too harsh on ourselves now for using this time as like a grace period, you could say, to kind of reduce the amount of activity we would normally do. Don't know how you guys are finding that just now.
Yeah, like none of us have ever been through a pandemic before, and so we're gonna not do amazing at it at some aspects. And so I guess we definitely shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. And if we just carried on exactly as normal and doing exactly the same amount of work, then we'll probably like forgoing the opportunity to learn from this and use this opportunity for what it is. So I think slowing down is a natural and pretty good thing to do at the moment.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. We all have something in common here, which is we're all involved in a similar thing, which is the Baptist Union of Scotland. But you guys are on yeah. Did I just get here?
Yeah.
Baptist Union of Scotland, man. And we're all on a similar kind of course, aren't we? So it's called Invest. I'm right in saying that's right. Yeah, you're all you're all doing a thing called Invest. Yeah? Who would feel confident enough to like say what Invest is?
A pack could go.
Dan volunteered someone, so house rules, he does it, I think.
Go on, Pat. Tell us in a summary what's Invest.
It's a year of training and discipleship, along with other people around Scotland, and you are placed. You do residentials away. You do training days as well, and for a whole year you just learn alongside other people, and you do life for a while as well with them. And the flip coin of that is if you're wanting to do an internship as well at church, you get the opportunity to serve and to be part of a team at a church that you're placed at as well.
Nice. Would folk agree in that summary?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah. How would you sum it up, Dan? How would you sum it up?
I'd sum it up pretty similarly. So I'm like doing a full-time internship at church, and on the side with assignments and training days and meeting ups and stuff like that. Training from the Baptist Union, pretty like wide-ranging, like from like practical aspects to like reading the Bible and helping others to, I don't know, your own walk with God and that sort of thing. That's pretty nice. Spend a lot of time in my own church, which is nice. Like where I guess I have been for a little while, and reaching into that community of my church, and learning a lot from the pastors in my own church and the folk in my own church, as well as
it's like a discipleship kind of leadership year, isn't it? You're obviously going through your discipleship journey, but you're also engaging with other people to help them become disciples, and that's like exercising some leadership as well, isn't it? Neil, what does it look like for you, kind of in your internship invest year at like the church? What does it look like?
Yeah, so mine's not full time. I'm only doing 12 hours a week, but mine is 12 hours a week, specifically focused on working with students. So I'm working on developing the student program, trying to integrate students into the rest of the wider church, but also trying to help facilitate the church to care for students rather than just like, I guess, me this year or one person being who the students are dependent on. It's about integration massively. And yeah.
So you're kind of part of a wider team of the church, aren't you? But you've got got like a focus on students, yeah.
Yeah.
How's it been this year for you, Neil? Like, how have you grown? Have you grown through this year so far?
Yeah, definitely.
Your hair's
good place to go. Yeah. The hair has definitely grown. It's a quarantine issue, but yeah, I've definitely grown massively. I'm really thankful, even just for the experience of working with the church. Like, this is my third year of doing kind of 1 year programs, and they've all been focused around students, but this is the first one that's been in a church. The others have been kind of parachurch organizations. So I'm really thankful for the experience of actually working in a church team, in a church context, figuring out what that's like. I guess for me, I came into the internship kind of wanting to test the waters of working for a church and seeing what that's like. So it's been really insightful for all of that. I've been pushed. I think for me, the biggest thing that I've learned from the team is probably around managing a team. Like, it's not about me being the person that does this work. It's about facilitating the team to be doing this work. Yeah. And also trying to create culture rather than put on activities. Like, activities are part of how we create culture, but it's about much more than just putting on activities. Yeah. We want to try and create a culture that allows students to feel part of it and feel involved and feel invested. And then also they themselves will hopefully be able to input and develop and continue culture with the younger students. So that's been massive in terms of how to do that well, and kind of almost getting a new perspective and lens on all of that from the team. So yeah, really thankful for that.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Pat, you've been kind of placed at Kirky Baptist, right?
Mm-hmm. How's
that been for you? How have you grown over the last kind of year?
Wow, you sent these yesterday, but I've still not actually thought of these.
Pat, you said you were initially doing architecture at university, right?
Yeah.
But things changed for you, right?
Yeah, so I guess this has been like a long journey now. Is what I like, as Neil was speaking, that's what sort of came to mind, how he's been doing this for 3 years. This is my like not a breakout year, but like a year where I was like, why not? Let's explore that. So I think it was about 5 years ago where the idea of serving at a church or doing ministry came about, but I never really, coming from an immigrant household and things like that, it's not the ideal route that the parents want to take. So seeing, like, I guess that's a big part of my journey, is actually gaining confidence in that area from being able to from following like a path that was already set out for me, or like to something that to actually investing in my relationship with God, and actually seeing what do you have for me, and I'll follow that. So that's been the biggest thing for me this year, is that investing, like, as much as we learn about like theology, the apostolic gifts, spiritual gifts, all that stuff, like the biggest thing that's impacted my life is actually how do I deepen my relationship with God. And yeah, like it's not been like the like, when I started the internship, it was like, oh, I've reached the place that I can do that, and this is gonna be easy now. This is gonna be like, wow, like it's gonna grow from here. And it did, but it wasn't easy. It actually turned into, like, it was wilderness after wilderness. But yeah, like you grow so much from that. So I've lost track of the question here. but like, so yeah, like that's the way I've grown, is like, actually, how do I traverse that wilderness with God? How do I rely on him more? How do I abide in him? And how do I just be so like saturated in that the no matter what I do, whether that be architecture, ministry, if I'm working in kids work or student work, whatever happens in the future, how does that, like, I can still be serving God and I can still have that one-to-one relationship with him. That's been the most important thing for me this year.
And you've had the time and space to kind of focus on your relationship with God this year, maybe a bit more than when you were kind of studying. Do you feel that, or?
Yeah, so like, I think initially as well, like, this year was like, I took it as if it was going to be like another, like a uni year condensed into 1 year of learning, and it was all going to be about information. And it wasn't. Like, it turned into a year of transformation instead of information. It was just like,
Great buzzword.
yeah, I know I'm good at those. Pick those up, but
Tweet that.
yeah. Take that, Nicky Gumbel. No. Again, I lose track so easily. What was the initial question again?
Well, you were just speaking about how you came into the year and it was a total kind of different experience from what you expected. You know, it was a year of transformation and space for you to invest in your relationship with God.
Oh yeah, so that, like, and like the training weekends and seeing other people like walk that path with you have been so encouraging. Like, you come out of these training nights and weekends with like a headache full of knowledge almost, but then also, and there's like a week, 2 week gap in between them, and that's like the processing time while you're working at church. How does that apply to that? And also, there's people that are doing it that aren't working in churches. There's people that are just doing everyday jobs or are still going to college, and I think it's a similar experience for them when they come out of these things. Like, how do I now turn that knowledge into and apply it to wherever I'm at with God? And it's been helpful for me, and I hope it's been helpful for everyone in the same way as well.
Because I think when I did an internship similar to this year, and what I loved about an internship was the fact that it wasn't like at university. You're over a kind of couple of years, you're just receiving maybe a lot of information. But what I love about an internship is that you get to like apply what you learn almost like immediately, and you get to process it, you get to implement it into your life, and because I'm quite a practical person, so I really enjoyed that, you know. I think that's a good thing. And obviously you're stretched in your leadership, aren't you? And Dan, it'd be great to hear how you've maybe grown in your leadership, because I know a little bit about what you've been doing and the opportunities you've had, you know. How's it been for you in your kind of, in the kind of leadership aspect of things, you know?
So I guess the main way I would say I've grown in leadership is the way I relate to and value the other people that I may be leading. And so I think, and this is only something I really figured out I had done this year, was in the past, probably placed far too much value on how useful people were to fulfill a task, what abilities they could bring, rather than their value coming from them being a person loved by God. And so I guess in this year, I've learned to, I guess, see the person before I see how good they are at doing stuff. And I'd far rather, you know, if I was leading a team or something, that person is in a good place with God, that person feels loved and valued before I think they're good enough to do some spiel about something or other. That's also not just, I guess, affected how I relate to people, but how I relate to God. I probably viewed my relationship with God in similar terms, like God values me based on how good a Christian I am that day. And so learning to see where value comes from has been a pretty big learning curve for me.
What kind of opportunities have you had kind of to grow in leadership with the church? Obviously you've been full-time, which is different from Neil. He's doing part-time. What kind of opportunities have you had throughout the year?
So a decent bit of my time is doing youth stuff. And so part of the team for that, and I have more opportunities to lead in that than I did before. Mostly would be kind of getting alongside the youth and discipling them. So maybe not as much leading the team doing the youth work, but leading the youth. And so a lot of it's been trying to, well, I don't have to work very hard to get down on their level because I like things they like video games and not doing work. So getting alongside them and just trying to, I guess, as much with my words as my actions, show them what it looks like to live for Jesus and how that's the best life that there is.
Yeah.
There's been other great opportunities. So church let me preach a decent bit, which I really enjoy. Challenging and terrifying. But I learned a whole heap from that.
Had you done that before? Like, have you had experience with
so
before?
Yeah, I'd done two sermons at church before I became an intern, but at least the second one I was already agreed that I'd become an intern at that stage. But like church are really good because I know like a lot of churches, you know, with a person my age would be pretty hesitant to give them an opportunity. But church have been really fantastic and supporting and so loving. So like I've absolutely loved it.
That's good, man. What's been a highlight for you guys over the year? It's been pretty packed of different experiences. We talked about residential weekends, talked about well, we haven't talked about, but there's been like deep impact, like conferences, serving there as well. So there's lots of things well placed in a church, you know. What's been a highlight for you? It could be something really silly, but it could be something really serious as well. So highlights, who wants to kick us off?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Hey.
I'll get two, if that's all right.
True leadership, just
Stop. I'm available for hire if anyone. Okay. Genuinely, probably the relationships from like Training Hub and other interns. Really appreciated getting to know you guys and journeying with you guys through the year. Hopefully that goes on. But yeah, genuinely, it's been really cool to get to know you guys and hang out. And then for us as well, I think a highlight was we had a student weekend away in January, and it was just like, yeah, such a massive like blessing and privilege to be there. And one of those moments where you stop and you're like, I can't believe this is my life. I've just spent a weekend with like close to 30 students who really love Jesus, who are being equipped to live for Jesus like every day. And I'm just really, really thankful that this is where I am and this is what I get to do. So that was a pretty big highlight for me. Yeah.
And that was with the church, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Church. Great.
I guess mine isn't like a one-off highlight, but that going to work at maybe like 9 a.m. in the morning means that I get to spend a decent bit of time reading the Bible or studying the Bible or listening to worship music as part of work. Like, that's such an incredible privilege that is a job. And so, like, it's not always exciting, but a lot of the time it is a real joy and exciting. So pretty grateful for that.
Yeah, nice. Patrick?
Oh, I think my highlight is quite similar to Dan's. It's like I've actually there's two, because like I guess it's two sides of the same thing really. Like, so it's been getting to know like all the interns and like spending weekends and days away doing conferences or weekends like just chatting and just getting to know each other. That's been so funny. Like it's been so like encouraging as well, seeing people my age or people in different stages in their life like working out what it means to do that as well. Like that's just been so incredible. Another thing is like going to work at church. Like we have like our Monday sort of staff meetings that I thought would be like, you know, like really quiet prayer around like some coffee or whatever, but it's been like the vibrancy, the different people in my church is just so amazing. Like I started going to Kirkcaldy Baptist at age 6, so it's been like 12 years since I've been going. So actually getting to know the community deeper and like being able to like I'm terrible at names but like I know so many, like I can call people out and I can like say I know you in the congregation, in the staff team. It's been such a privilege. Yeah.
That's cool. So obviously, the year is almost kind of coming to an end, isn't it?
Ooh.
Sadly, I do hope we can spend like a weekend together to finish off this year. You know, like
Yeah.
actually in person.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm praying for that, believing for that, and I'm sure we'll do that together to celebrate and give it a good finale of to the year.
Yeah.
I guess in closing, with this kind of call, do you guys feel like um, the year has prepared you for maybe what is next for you? You might not know what's next, and that's totally all right. Um, but I know some of you, like Dan, I kind of know you've got some thoughts of where you kind of want to be in the future. Why don't in closing tell us maybe where you see yourself um, down the line, and if the years kind of helped you prepare for that, I guess.
Yeah, so for me, I guess hoping, and I guess all things are very up in the air at the moment. But to be part of a team that plants a church in Torry in Aberdeen, an area of like 10,500 people, that doesn't really have a kind of evangelical church. And so this year I've been afforded a decent bit of time to think about that and what that would look like. Um, I guess something being really useful is just kind of being on the inside of how a church works, and seeing there's so many intricacies and so many things that are definitely underappreciated just being a church member. And so, yeah, prepared a lot. Like this year has helped me a lot to prepare. I think probably the most useful thing was investment from older, wiser Christians. Like like ministry is hard a lot of the time, and so seeing how they cope with that well, seeing how they love me and being a great example, and people that I would love to emulate if possible in the future, if it's church planting in Torry or if it's anything else.
That's exciting, Dan. That's really
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Neil, how about yourself? Thinking
And
about future and
yeah, I honestly like this is kind of the dream job. Like I've loved working for a church, working with students and young adults. Like that is the dream. I'd love to kind of continue doing this in the future, and um, yeah, I just think it's a really like exciting period of your life to be a Christian, and I think the church has a responsibility to look after its members well who go through that and to equip them well for that, and then yeah, that sets you up for life basically. So I would love to continue doing this, and I think this year's been yeah, excellent in terms of like actually just having experience of basically the exact job that I would like to pursue and being like, okay, yeah, I know that this is like something that I've enjoyed doing. There's obviously challenges in anything that you do, but I'm thankful for the experience, definitely, for sure. Yeah, it's been cool.
it's giving you like a confidence, like doing the experience and knowing that it's something you're passionate about. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's good. I'm thankful.
Good. Patrick.
Yeah. I guess like I'm a bit different in those regards. Like but also really similar. Like I've had such an amazing year working at church and like growing our student community here, as well as like creating new, like modernizing, creating new ways that our youth can engage with God. And it's been like a dream job, like as well, like being able to like sit and think like, wow, I'm actually doing this for real. Like it's not like a thought anymore. It's not just like a kind of like thought in the back of the head. It's real. But also I realized that like there's a lot to consider, especially because like life isn't always like a straight road. So for me at the moment, it's like a fork road, like, but I know that whichever route I take, whether that be industry or ministry or whatever else, that it's, as long as I'm doing it for God, like it's all good. And I think the this year was just like that surrender, like, because previously it would be like I would have plans in my head for what my life would look like and what things I should do. So at the end of my year, and what I'm looking forward to is that I don't have to do that. I just know that there's opportunities are going to come up that God will place, and to take any of those and just run with it and see where this relationship and this calling takes me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's exciting, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
the mystery of the future. But I'm excited for you guys to see where God takes you all. Thanks for being on the call today and giving your time. It's been great just hearing about your experience over the year. And maybe next time we see each other, we'll have different coloured hair.
Yes.
Pat, what are you going for? You're going for ultra blonde, yeah?
Yeah, we could be the BUS Rangers, you know, with like our different.
Yeah, not the Power Rangers.
No.
Love that.
Bus Rangers.